Well, I just created this custom entrance. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster with me, Spacefish. Now, we're right back here where we left off, but first off guys, I would like to announce that I actually made a few changes right here. So the first thing, as you guys can probably hear, is I've got a new mic right now. I've upgraded to the blue snowball, so I hope you guys do like the change. I'm also not using Fraps for microphone audio anymore, but I'm using Audacity instead. So I'll have to cut everything together in the very end, but I hope there's not going to be any desync or whatsoever. I just find that Fraps, as opposed to OBS and as opposed to Audacity, just does not have that kind of audio quality for the mic somehow. So as I want to really use this new mic, I'm just going to do it this way, and I really hope that this is going to work out. So let's just go over the park real quick. I do want to try and make my intro shorter for you guys, so you guys can be dropped like right into the action as quick as possible. So we're just going to go over everything real quick, and I'll drop you guys right into the time lapse. Also, one thing I would actually love to know from you guys is I've recently considered actually not doing intros and outros anymore, but instead just dropping you guys right into the time lapse and just talking over the time lapse. And I'm just not quite sure yet, so I would love to hear your guys' opinion on that and what you guys actually think. How would you like if I did that? Do you actually prefer it this way with the intro, or do you prefer me talking over the time lapse? Now, other than that, I'm just going to go through park management real quick. I don't think we need to do very much. We actually need to adjust some prices, but I do think I'm going to actually care about that in the time lapse, not to bore you guys with that. Other than that, marketing, everything's still fine. The staff I really want to have a quick look at so we don't lose any staff, but I guess they're all happy, they're all fine, everything works well, all the entertainers, janitors, everybody's okay. And other than that guys, you know, this part over here is pretty much finished. I do want to add some scenery in front here. I do want to refine the scenery inside our ice cave as well, and maybe do something on the exit as well. And as you guys already know from last episode, we're just at a scenery rating of 55, and we need 100 to actually complete this park, and we also need to attract quite a few more guests. So I'm gonna work hard on this part. I don't think I'm gonna be able to achieve this scenery rating only with custom parts though guys. I think what I might do is, once I'm finished with this, I will go over to the coaster and I'll do sort of a mix between custom parts and actually blueprinted parts to be able to achieve the scenery rating a bit quicker. And then I'm probably going to also drop another ride or two, maybe a shop or two, to try and get more guests into the park, attract even more guests, because as it stands right now, we just don't have enough guests to totally fulfill the goals. So I'm definitely going to work on that as well, because I do really want to finish this park in this episode. So I'm definitely going to work hard on that. I hope you guys are going to enjoy, and here goes the time lapse.
Thought about this too much. What's there left to say? Throw your stones the river. Like me it drifts away. I would watch you stare. I would watch you stare. Oh, but there's no one there. never let go, never let go. Ooh, we never let go. We can figure this out. Put your feet down. We are the lucky ones. Swallow your choice instead. Terrified of what's left remains unsaid until you break my mind. Until you break my thought. Until you break my thought. These sticks and stones will break. They will break, they will break, they will break. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. No, no. Let this be another knot to tie around my bed at night. I know I've lost the fight. To erase your face, my mind. Awake, I lie here staring up beyond the sky. Oh,
Alright guys, welcome back from the first part of the time lapse. I just want to take you guys on a quick ride on this roller coaster right here while we're actually testing it. So that's what we're gonna do here real quick. Actually, I need to start playing again first, and then we're gonna get ourselves into the front seat. So what I did here guys is I just placed down another roller coaster basically, because I actually managed to reach the scenery goal quite quickly. I firstly, as you guys saw probably, just went ahead and placed some, well, just some more scenery on my ice cave, got a little sleigh going and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed that quite a bit. And then I just started going for blueprints. I just used like 2 blueprints. And I guess they were just like really expensive or really detailed. I'm not quite sure what's the most important part there. I think it's the cost actually. But the price of these blueprints actually, or well, the detail of the blueprints, I'm not sure, but one of these actually managed to get us the park rating. So right now, I'm just trying to actually draw some more crowds into our park. And to do that, I did place another bit of shops. I did place this roller coaster to just try and get as many guests as possible. Well, this was basically just the high seas blueprint, which is the roller coaster you guys should probably know from the first part. And we're gonna go ahead and open this, and I'm gonna send you guys back into the time lapse for some more building, and we're hopefully gonna reach the final goal very soon as well. Alright guys, hello and welcome back from the time lapse. I hope you guys had an awesome time. We finally completed the 3rd goal, and I can't even tell you how much of a struggle this was. Now let me just go really quickly about everything that I just did, because it's definitely a ton. Now, at the beginning of the episode, you guys saw me doing work on the scenery over here, which, well, I just created this custom entrance, and I created a little sleigh over here with a little, well, snowman Santa, some presents in there. Just some kind of first trials of getting more detailed and more, like, smaller custom things done, because, like, the very small and tiny detail was always kind of a challenge, I guess. At least that's what I feel. So I did have my first try at that. I hope you guys like it. I think it turned out quite well. I'm really happy with it. Now, if you go in here, everything's still pretty much the same, but I had some issues which I'm going to go through in a second. So what I was told by the game is that this ride was aging, so I was like, the game was telling me it would probably be best if I was gonna replace it with a new one. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna delete the old ride. I'm just gonna place the same ride again to keep the guests coming, to keep the money coming, so people don't get, well, bored by the ride itself. But, well, seeing the ice cave around it, I guess that was probably not really the best idea, because in the end I ended up having to totally rework everything. I had to get rid of all this mountain, as you guys probably saw. I had to totally place this ride back and fix everything up again. That took me some good amounts of time actually, and what ended up happening as well is, I'm not quite sure how, but I think by smoothing on top of the mountain, I somehow dragged out some dirt, and well, not dirt, but some snow from like here, so everything was kinda sunk in snow. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but I ended up having to fix that as well. I kind of placed this random bit of what's it called? Jesus, wafer. Yeah, this random wafer over here as well, just to add a little more. But looking at this a second time, I was actually quite happy and quite satisfied with how things looked. So I just kept it this way and well, went on with it because I don't want to like totally overload the scene. I think that with everything we have actually added in front here, this is actually quite a nice scene. Now, after this, guys, I still noticed we were at like 66 scenery rating, even though I already did tons of work. So I just went ahead and grabbed like 2 blueprints, I think it was 2. I think I placed down this shop on like in front here real quick to get some people some food and some drinks up here as well. And then I placed this Christmas tree, which I do think now in the end that I had a look at the price. It cost like $2,500, and I do think the way that the scenery rating probably works is that the more money the scenery costs, the more effective it actually is. So this tree actually bumped my scenery rating up to 100 right away. So, well, now finally I've kind of got a clue of which items I need to place in the next, well, missions, if we should ever have this kind of mission again, if I really want to bump the scenery rating. Other than that, after that we were done with the second objective, but we still had to drag in 1,600 guests, and god guys, that was such a struggle. I actually ended up getting another loan real quick and putting this ride here down real quick, which you guys probably recognize from our last theme park. It was in the pirate park as well. I just put it down all the way out here so it would not be like that apparent in the park, and I actually dragged some more viewers in. And then I just ended up putting down even more scenery blueprints. I actually did some stuff here. I'm not quite happy with how that turned out, but this scenery rating here was at 0. It basically had like no visitors at all, and I needed to drag people in, so I just decided to put some stuff down there. Then I went over here, I placed a hospital over here, or is it a hospital? First aid, well, first aid station over here, placed some more scenery, even another ride, and another bit of shops, and even more scenery, and it costs me tons of money. I actually repaid the loan as well to make sure to fulfill the last objective and everything. But honestly guys, well, to be honest, like, there's a few things I would not have wanted to place here. I would actually wanted to keep it a bit the old way, but then again, this is just a mission park. When I'm gonna do my parks, I'm like, if I'm gonna use blueprints, it's probably gonna be either my own or really awesome ones that I find on the Steam workshops that I just want to show you guys. But, well, right here, I think I can justify using these to actually go ahead with our goal to be able to finish the park. I do really like what we came up with in this park. The awesome gingerbread house over here, I really loved it. The nice little ice cave with the very detailed scenario, and the little sleigh over here I think is kind of a little highlight as well. It took me quite some time actually constructing this one. I don't know if you guys properly saw what parts I used, but it definitely did, I can promise you. But other than that, guys, I'd say we're pretty much finished with this park. I'm not sure with which one we're gonna go next. I'm gonna have a look into that next episode. But for the time being, I'm gonna wrap up this episode here. So I hope you guys had some good fun in this episode. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and hit the subscribe button down below, and let me know how you guys like this park. If you guys would love if I did a festive park in the future as well, and what kind of park you guys would like for me to go and start on in the next episode. Other than that, I'll see you all in the next episode.